When I found these glossy purple buttons in a local charity shop, I had to snap them up. It's not often I find suitable buttons for my doll's eyes in colours like this, so today I'm going to upcycle them and use them as inspiration for a creepy cute little goth girl. I'm starting out with some quilting cotton from Modibella Solids in smoke grey for the skin fabric. I've got some purple stripes for the arms and black and white stripes for the legs. I've had this purple cotton print in my stash for a while. I think this will work really well with those buttons. I'm stuffing all the pieces with some polyester fibre. If you watched last week's video, you'll know I had a minor accident and one of my fingers is out of action for a little while. It's healing well, but stuffing doll pieces is still a bit awkward. I want to make sure all the pieces are stuffed really firmly to support the joints. I often get asked if I have a pattern or course available to buy. At the moment, I don't. I'm experimenting a lot right now with different techniques and materials. I change how I do things so often. By the time I put a course together, I think it'd already be out of date. I might do something like that in the future, but until then, you can enjoy my videos here for free and follow along with me as I try things out. Bead jointing is something I've been exploring a lot over the last year. The way I'm jointing the arms right now is to close the seam first, then attach both beads with the same thread. This is the upper arm piece. I'm stitching through the elbow bead first, then I pass the needle through to the other end and attach the shoulder bead. You'll notice the beads are at right angles to each other. You'll see why I've done it that way later on. The forearm is jointed in a similar way, but this time the beads for the elbow and wrist are sewn on in line with each other. I'm button jointing the head to the body so it can be tilted either left or right. The thread goes from one button on the back of the torso up through the neck to a button on top of the head, then back down to the first button. I use Gutterman top stitch thread for all the joints. Top stitch is a strong polyester upholstery thread and it's perfect for doll making. It comes in a huge range of colours too. I'll put a link in the description. I'm painting some shoes in acrylics with a bit of fabric medium added to it. I've mixed a dark purple, that will need a couple of coats, and then I blend it with some white around the edges to add a bit of depth. Once the paint's dry, I can sew the legs onto the body. Then I'll start working on the face. I'm shading around the eye area with Derwent Coloursoft pencils. I have some new colour pencils on order that I'm really eager to try, but those haven't arrived yet, so I'll have to show you those in the next video. I'm building up a deep shadow in grey and black and blending in between coats with the blending pencil. I most often use 15mm buttons for this size doll, but I think these are about 17mm, so I'm going to have to bring out that shading a bit wider. She's going to have big eyes. I hope they're not going to be too big. The shading needs a coat of fixative spray to stop it smudging, so while that's drying, I'll start working on the dress. I've had this purple cotton print for a long time. I think I found this one in Hobbycraft. I love tiny prints like this. They work so well on doll dresses. A mistake a lot of new doll artists make is to use a remnant of printed fabric for their doll clothes without considering the scale of the print. A pattern that looks good on human-sized clothes can look really out of place on a doll dress because it's just way too big. I've been guilty of this myself in the past. It can be hard to find the exact print you want, so when you find it, you think, I can make it work. but if it's too large for the doll, it's just not worth it. Stick to tiny prints or just use something plain and add detail to it with some ribbon or lace, or maybe some tiny buttons. Speaking of scale, let's see how those eye buttons fit. As always, I'm stitching them right through to the back of the head with some top stitch thread, as tightly as I can so they sit nice and flat. You can use any kind of buttons you like, but I've always loved the look of these coat buttons with 4 holes, so you can get this cross thread in the middle. I actually think those look great. I'm loving the big-eyed look. I'm adding a bit of line detail with Derwent line maker pens. Although my dolls all look quite similar, I think it's those tiny details that gives each one a unique personality. To finish off the dress, I'm just giving her a simple tutu with some purple lace underneath and black lace on top. I'm jointing the shoulders with a couple of stitches horizontally through the bead so the arms can be lifted out to the sides. If you're enjoying watching this little one come together, don't forget to hit the like button and let me know. This helps the video get seen by more people. Now, because I jointed the elbow at a right angle to the shoulder, the lower arms and wrists can bend forward. For the hair, I'm using some super chunky acrylic yarn in purple and black. These are both from Signet. The purple shade is called Dragon. That's from the Mythically Chunky range. I'm going to needle felt that in with the Clover pen style tool and some 38 gauge needles. I have 2 of the felting tools. I keep one with 3 needles in it and one with 2 for fine details. I want to give her a messy high ponytail, so I'm felting the yarn in all around the hairline first. There's no need to felt a full head of hair for an updo. I don't want it to be too bulky, so I'll just cover the middle section with a thin layer of yarn before I tie it up. Now all the hairline is filled in, I can unravel the yarn and pull out those loose fibres. This super chunky acrylic creates a lovely wavy hair effect. I'm just loosely felting some of the excess fibres over the midsection so none of the fabric shows through. Then I'll tie it all up with some top stitch thread. I've made her a hair bow with some lace and a metal flower bead. This moon and stars charm makes a really cute little gothic necklace. I've named her Phoebe Moonflower. If you like this little goth girl, here's another one I think you're going to love. Go watch that one next and I'll see you next time. Bye!